My camp starts after this interview.
Is it with Roy?
At the moment, no.
So there's no trainer?
At the moment, no, there is not.
Do you think he's taking you lightly?
I need my old man. I need my old man's input, and I haven't got it yet. I can't have Roy Jones in one ear and Chris Eubank Sr. in another. Can't work. I have to pick one or the other. And for this fight, it has to be my old man. But he hasn't told me that he wants to be involved. As crazy as that sounds, his old man's front and center. He's ready to go. My dad is he's a different animal. He has a different spirit. And I hope he comes on board.
Well, looks like he wasn't on board, my boy. What's going on, y'all? Micah here, and I'm back with another boxing video. And as you can see from the title, your boy Chris Eubank has pulled out of the Conor Benn fight that was supposed to, I guess, decide the rivalry between they dads back in the old guy days. And based on the things that Chris Eubank Jr. was saying in that little snippet right there, it didn't really seem like his dad was on board from jump. And I had been wondering the whole time how they were going to make this happen because the size disparity is pretty big. But let's go ahead and see why Chris Eubank Jr. has pulled out and what reasons does Chris Eubank Sr. feel that he needs to pull out. Let's go. This article here is by the Daily Mail, and it starts with, "My son's life cannot be put in danger. I've already lost one. It can't happen again." Chris Eubank Sr. leaves Nigel Benn stunned as he threatens to pull his son out of catchweight clash with Conor Benn to avoid dangerous weight cut. And like I said earlier, the size disparity was quite large. I think Chris Eubank Jr. fights at 160 to 168. He's around 5'11", and I believe Conor Benn is 5'8", and he fights at welterweight, which is 147. And they were planning to meet at 153. And anybody who knows about the guys and how their stature looks that fight at 168, they're often pretty big guys. So you're pretty sure the walk-around weight for Chris Eubank Jr. is quite large. And for him to have to get down to like 153 is suicide. You're basically going to be a shell of a person when you get into that ring. But let's go on and check out what the rest of the article says. Chris Eubank Sr. has vowed to scupper his son's historic fight with Conor Benn over the 157-pound catchweight. I thought it was 153. 157 is not as bad as 153, but still. Insisting his life cannot be put in danger. I've already lost one son. I can't lose another. And I will say that I can kind of understand Chris Eubank Sr.'s reasoning for that because he has to cut a lot of weight. And not only is the fact that he's going to be a shell of his former self when he gets in the ring from that weight drain, you have to also think about the fact that the weight cut puts a lot on your body. And I actually did a little bit of digging, and I found out that, that his son actually passed away from a heart attack. They said it was, he was swimming in a swimming pool or something like that, and he just had a massive heart attack that they said even if he was on land, there was nothing that they really could have done to prevent it. And I think that may have been from all the effects of all the different weight cuts he might have done over time, because they said he was extremely healthy. That's pretty much the only thing that I can think of is all that constant weight cutting, how much stress that puts on your body, your kidneys, your heart, all that. Anybody who's ever cut weight and did it the wrong way, you've probably felt how bad you might feel, like your heart might be beating extremely fast, or one weird jolt and you might feel like, oh, I might catch a heart attack. You never know, but that's what I pretty much have gathered from that. It also says Chris Eubank Jr. and Benn are due to meet at London's O2 Arena on October 8th, reigniting a family feud 3 decades after their fathers met in the second installment of British boxing's greatest rivalry. Let's get it. The 56-year-old said he could take legal action. If they're not going to listen to me, then they'll have to listen to my King's Counsel. That fight does not happen. What does he mean by his King's Counsel? I don't understand that. You guys, you British guys, you got to go ahead and enlighten me on that. It also says Eubank even claimed he had already pulled Jr. from the fight, a claim denied by sources around the bout. So I'm confused now. Is Chris Eubank out of the fight, or is it still a possibility and his dad just doesn't want to do it? He's going against his dad. Bless him. If he doesn't take the advice, then I have to put my foot down. Have you ever heard of Russian roulette? Eubank said. When you spin that barrel, that's what he's doing. And that I can't let him. I've given him my direction. If he doesn't want it, follow it, he will be dragged along. But he would do what is right for him. He's coming down 1 ounce below 160 pounds, which cannot happen on my watch. Eubank Sr., whose son Sebastian died last year at the age of 29, added, "This is modern-day gladiating. This is not a plaything for the audience. We have to be strict, otherwise lives are put in danger, and my son's life cannot be put in danger." And yeah, I feel that right there, man. That's why Errol Spence is mad about all these little J's and these little YouTube guys getting into the boxing, because this ain't a plaything. I've already lost one. I can't happen again. It can't happen again. If you have a child and someone's trying to actually take that child away from you and do something wrong to that child, as a dad, you wouldn't let them. That's all I'm doing. His comments came as a surprise to both Nigel Benn and his son Conor, who joined the Zoom call and assisted. All I know was the weight was agreed. Later, having cut short the video call, Team Ben headed to the gym with Conor writing on social media on a Monday night, "Just fought 10 rounds while someone's having daddy issues." Eubank was also training on Monday. That is despite Nigel Benn asking his old rival, "So you're putting your foot down," saying to your son, at 32 years old, "This fight is not happening." To which Eubank Sr. responded, "Absolutely." That's kind of funny, but I understand. I guess is Eubank Sr. his actual coach, or it's just being his dad? I don't understand it. It was then pointed out that Junior signed a contract Conor even promised, knowing he's going to get hurt. That isn't the intention of the sport or my intention. Folks get hurt, bro. This is boxing, bro. You ain't really got no say in that, bro. You done been punch somebody one way and it just caused a freak accident. There ain't really nothing you can do unless you punching folks in the back of the head. You can't really help all that. There are so many different variables that could cause somebody to get hurt. So, Conor Benn, yeah, you might not want to really hurt nobody for real, but it ain't really the possibilities. Let's get it. He doesn't know who you are. I know who you are. That fight doesn't happen unless he fights at 160, and he's not fighting you because that's not the way for him. I would advise you, Conor, not to fight my son at 160 because he has the ability to destroy the rest of your career. And I agree, if Conor, you want to go on up to 160, curtains. I think Chris Eubank Jr. is better than Conor Benn. I actually watched, the whole back and forth thing yesterday because I was kind of, interested in the fight. I was a little bit intrigued. So I came back and I looked at each guy's highlight videos. I looked at Chris Eubank and I looked at Conor Benn. I will say that I think Chris Eubank looked much better than Conor Benn. He was way faster. He was putting way more combinations together. It just looked like he just had a better sense of the ring in general. A lot of folks will argue that Chris Eubank is just like a athletic specimen kind of dude, and that only gets you so far, but I feel like he looked a lot better. When I looked at Conor Benn, he looked like just a wild brawler dude from the alley. He was beating them folks up, but he wasn't really putting no extreme numbers on nobody. He wasn't putting up any extreme technical prowess or anything like that. So I wasn't super duper impressed. I think Chris Eubank Jr. would win if they actually met it like a Chris Eubank Jr. weight. Obviously, if they meet too low, Conor Benn has a shot, but hey. Significant financial penalties are in place should either fighter come in over the 157-pound catch weight, but Eubank Sr. invoked the memory of previous tragedies involving himself, his son, and Nigel Benn to highlight the dangers of the sport. I gave my son his instructions and he chose to follow a different path, but he can't override his dad because his dad is speaking sense. And who will back me up? The public. When they understand I lost a son, Michael Watson happened, Gerard McClellan happened, Nick Blackwell happened, and many warriors who have fallen or are disabled because of contests in the ring, he said. And I guess that's fair. I guess from a parent standpoint, I would understand. Well, I ain't no dad or nothing like that, so I guess I can't truly understand. But based on anybody who has kids and the way I've heard them talk about how they love their kids and all that kind of stuff, I can understand that you want to keep your folks safe, keep your kids safe. But at the same time, I guess you gotta let him, be his own man. I will say probably in this case, well, I don't know, man. Chris Eubank Jr. he's probably cutting too much weight, to be honest, but let's go. You cannot come down in weight, especially against a fight of the magnitude of Mr. King Conor Benn. This ain't no joke. So, all right, so he's saying, you can't come down in weight. We understand that. Puts a lot of stress on your body, all that garbage. And then, he's saying somebody like King Conor Benn. Does that mean he thinks that Conor Benn could take his son down? Or does he, what is it? That's kind of messed up a little bit. Look at this right here. You got your boy Canelo versus Golovkin preview. Them folks got failed drugs and all that. Hopefully this fight doesn't fall through. But that looks like that's it for the article. So how do y'all feel about all this, man? Do y'all think Chris Eubank Sr. is overstepping his boundaries and he needs to let his son go? Or is he just doing just right as a parent and looking out for his son, knowing the dangers of boxing and all that kind of stuff? Do you think that Chris Eubank Jr. may have been in over his head? Because you're coming down from 168 or 160 down to 157. I mean, 160 to 157 is not a big deal, but when you're cutting, and it's probably a significant cut to 160, and then you have to just make that 3 little bit extra pounds, that's gonna hurt you. Because normally, when you weigh in at them fights, they might give you like a 160 plus 2 or something like that. But they talking about catch weight, and you can't go over not 1 pound, not 0.2 pounds, or you're gonna get your purse snatched, or you might get the fight fall through. Who knows? But how do you guys feel about it? Were you bummed? Were you looking forward to this fight, or are you kind of like, man, I don't care nothing about it, man? Do you think that Chris Eubank Jr. can bounce back and still be that guy, or will he continue to be in his dad's shadow and just be kind of like the athletic powerhouse guy that never really made it? What about Conor Benn? What do you think the trajectory is of Conor Benn's career? Do you think that he will be somebody to be looking at, or is he just the cool boohoo man looking model with the tattoos that acts hard? Let me know. But that's it for the video right there, man. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Appreciate y'all watching up to this point. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see you next time.